So I saw the new Godzilla movie a couple times. Three. I saw Godzilla Minus One three times, and right now I am going to tell you this is the best Godzilla movie ever created. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that. This is the best Godzilla movie ever. It is seriously the best. Like, if you think Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah is great, you're an idiot now. If you think Godzilla 1998 is good, you're like part of those holdouts that still think it was good. Then you're an idiot now if you still think that's the best Godzilla movie. Matter of fact, there are 3 reviews on Rotten Tomatoes that are all negative for it. The rest is good. 98% critics think good. 98% of the people who watched it thinks it's good. And then, but like, who are those other 2 people? I'll tell you who they are. Degenerates. They're fucking hacks. They sucked their mom until they were 12, I bet. Just like our current House of Representative. You know he looks like that. Just look at him. Did you know him and his son share like text so they can keep an eye on each other's? Yeah, I don't know how we know this information, but we do. Godzilla Minus One it's hands down the best. Like, Warner Brothers, you need to take a playbook out of this. This movie was only $15 million. And for $15 million, I got an amazing story, a love story, actually. And then I got the giant monster Godzilla. And I get an actual story that is about Godzilla terrorizing Japan with great character development. Like, the main, listen, I will not say these names. I will butcher them. Like, Warner Brothers, what are you doing? Like, I saw your latest trailer for, like, Godzilla Kong Under Empire or whatever it's called. And it looks so stupid. The CGI is just crap. Like, what? I bet that movie cost you $200 million and it's gonna flop. Like, when I think Godzilla, I think something powerful, indestructible, unconquerable, undefeated. But yet, Warner Brothers seems like they're making him small. And the fact that there are monsters the size of Godzilla that are Kongs, and they want to kick his... I'm sorry, but that's just not something I want to see, like, at all. But, like, are you even trying? Like, do you remember when Godzilla 2014 came out, and Godzilla was only in it for not even 14 minutes, yet it was called Godzilla? Yeah, that was stupid. They did a stupid thing. Whoever made that script is just... Spoiler alert, I am about to spoil Godzilla Minus One. If you're still here after this, I am legally not held accountable to spoiling this movie for you because you had the chance to leave. But you're not leaving right now. You're listening to me for some reason. All right, let's talk about the greatest goddamn Godzilla movie ever. Here we go. We have the main character, Mr. Shigarami something. Sorry. So it's the end of World War II, Odo Island, Japanese holdouts, war's about to end. We know what's about to happen. And they start hearing a little roar, and then they see some fishies come out of the water and go, "The f***?" And then they're like, "Is that a new American weapon?" Then a giant dinosaur just appears. Yeah, that's Dinosaur Godzilla. Yeah, and they're like, one guy just goes, "Dude, that's Godzilla." The islanders talk about him. Like, what? So anyways, they start like they tell Shigarami, who by the way is a failed kamikaze pilot. Yeah, he doesn't want to die. Do you blame him? And so, like, the guy's like, go to that plane. You gotta die on the battlefield, die fighting this thing. And then so he gets on there. He's obviously scared shitless, because who the wouldn't? And then Godzilla just proceeds to kill the rest of the camp with only 2 survivors, Sugary Mai and Mr. Mechanic. We're going to call him Mr. Mechanic. I am so sorry. I am an uncultured Neanderthal Ohioan. Please forgive me. We're just going to call him Kamikaze for now on. I'm sorry. So, okay, Godzilla goes away. Now he has survivor's guilt. Obviously, they both do, except the one, Mr. Mechanic, keeps panning it on Kamikaze like, this is your fault. You f***ed up. They would have been alive. That 50 cal would have killed that thing. Which, I'm going to be honest, Godzilla's not radioactive, it seems, obviously, given what year it is. So, like, there's a high chance that gun could have, like, ripped his face apart, given what the bullets were doing. So anyways, he gets back home. So I'm not going to call him Kamikaze anymore. So this poor gets home. His whole family's dead. A little letter from his dad said, please stay alive. So he did that. He failed kamikazeing. You did a good thing. So, and then the neighbor comes and calls him a disgrace. And then I remembered, holy this is Japan, World War II. They have absolutely nothing. The whole place is rubble. Yeah, I know. Like no movies really focus on other countries except for Germany sometimes maybe after World War II. And now like we're getting a movie in modern day looking at after World War II Japan. That's really something different in my opinion. Warner Brothers, you need to start taking notes. So anyways, he's being blamed for it. He's in the market. This girl is a thief. Run past him. And he gives the main character a baby to hold. And he refuses to abandon a child in post-war Japan. So he walks out after an hour and the lady goes, aha, I'm going to follow you home because you have a heart. And this is not my actual child. I am actually a 19-year-old girl, I think. I don't know what I'm doing with this kid. And then, so what ends up happening is the very sad woman from earlier becomes an adult figure for these very young adults who don't know what they're doing with a baby. She lost her family, so she's like, I gotta at least like fix this cluster of a family. And then, so they're moved in to a house, and their neighbor, old lady, she doesn't even look that old. She looks really nice, actually. So they're developing like emotions for each other. Throughout the movie, they start to fall in love. A strange woman with more estranged child from a strange woman. It moves in with this failed kamikaze pilot. This is some good plot so far. And so after a while, he gets a job, and his job is to get the landmines out of Tokyo Bay. And it's a lot of money, so he does it. So he does it for years. He gets to know the captain, the doctor, this kid. Now, all these people fought in the war except for the kid, who is roughly the same age as the main character. So he just didn't want to go, and that's a good thing. Just to be clear, that's a good thing. But he always wanted to, so it's weird, because they keep telling him you don't know the horrors of war. And you can tell this is going to be a good movie. So years pass, they're growing up into a happy family. Little baby starts calling her mommy, and it's like, oh, that's sweet. That's not her real mom, but that's her mom. And then she goes, Daddy. And the guy goes, I am not your father. And all of his employees are just like, first off, you didn't make her your wife yet. Second off, what? So he obviously, he does not want to move on because he's afraid to. He has survivor's guilt. Then the nuclear testings happen. And then the Godzilla is created. And holy, it's 1947 now, and he is up any boat that he is just mad at. So Godzilla straight up destroys a U.S. battleship. We don't see that part, but there's obvious damage. So they go in their wooden boats, by the way. The boats are made out of completely wood, which is a good thing because the landmines hit metal boats because the magnetism. So obviously the people doing this care about the safety of the Japanese people. I want you to keep that in mind. The people doing this have safety in mind, and that's important, by the way, you later learn. So Japan, remember, they had to be disarmed, but MacArthur in the movie makes a statement to the Japanese leaders: you need to arm yourselves. We can't help you, or else that will cause issues with the Soviets, and we don't want that. So Japan's left there like, okay, fine, we'll deal with this. Roger that. Will you give us items? America looks at them and goes, no, but you can do what you gotta do. That old Navy we took away from you, you can have a couple boats back. We can't, by the way, don't tell anyone about this. I don't know why you wouldn't want to tell the two superpowers of the world, hey, there's a giant reptilian sea monster destroying. If you don't believe us, you can come here. That's fine. I don't know why that's not a thought process, but whatever. Okay, for the movie to move forward, the governments of Japan and America are keeping it a secret. But obviously, rumors are starting to spread. Keep that in mind. Rumors are starting to spread about Godzilla. So the little boats go, and they go, geez, he did that? And the survivor kamikaze pilot go, dude, that's insane, dude. He took Godzilla. This is Godzilla. And they start explaining Godzilla, and they have no choice but to believe him. And now he's like, dude, this thing's obviously bigger now. And if he did that, and then the captain of this boat goes in his wooden boat, pulls out of his 50 cal and go, Godzilla, no match for me. Listen, I will this thing up. They're like, I thought you didn't care about government orders. He's like, I'm gonna get all the prize money for this. And then Godzilla just eats the other wooden boat. And the captain goes, never mind, get out. We gotta get the out. They're like, what about, he's like, did I stutter? We need to leave. So then a chase scene occurs between Godzilla and this wooden boat, and holy shit, it is terrifying. They made this movie a horror movie. Watching Godzilla swim towards the boat, that's insane. And they have two landmines, and they throw one at him, and it just pisses him off. Then they see his face, and they start screaming more. And they're like, okay, we're going to drop a landmine in its mouth. Maybe that'll do it. And then they blew it in, former kamikaze pilot goes bang, and boom! Godzilla died. He died for 2 seconds. And then he regenerated, more pissed, and they're like, go, go, go. And right before Godzilla's about to kill them, I don't want to butcher this name. The Takio? We're going to call him the Takio. So this giant Japanese naval ship appears and starts f***ing up Godzilla. They're popping caps in his. This thing came all the way from Singapore because it was about to be decommissioned, but then they're like, monster, and they're like, got it. And so they start banging on Godzilla with all their guns, and the Godzilla, it looks like he went down, and he was like, what the f*** was that? And so he went to go, on the boat and start, unicroning it, rah, rah, rah. Then they just shoot him more because he's right next to the cannons, and then it really him up, and he gets going down the water, and everyone's like, wow, did we just kill that thing already? Dude, this naval ship is a beast. That's said at some point. They said the Takio is a beast. That's gonna kill it. And then you just hear vroom, 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 and then the water goes blue and heat ray. It looks like an atomic bomb went off. And you see every time something like this thing appears and they think they have the upper hand, and it later finds out they don't. You just see like the look in the character's face just go. Like, that's insane. Like, this is some cosmic scariness going on. Because it's a monster you can't kill and it regenerates. And he burns himself every time he uses his heat ray. And then so they were able to get away, thank God. And the government is still keeping it a secret. Hundreds are dead at this point, just to be clear. And so they think Godzilla's going to attack Tokyo. So he attacks Tokyo at some point. And it's where the lady is working now, and he just came out as like he has survivor guilt to her after this whole Godzilla thing. He's like, he basically says he loves her without saying it, and it's really romantic. Like, they actually bond. He opens up, and he now believes he can be happy. He sees them as a family. He's going to ask her to marry him, pretty sure. And then she's at work in Tokyo, Ginza. So not all of Tokyo, just to be clear, just a part of it. Again, rumors of this sea monster thing. Rumors are also known of being lore or not completely facts, just like the Loch Ness Monster, just to be clear. So, monster in the water? I think you're on drugs, said anyone outside of this situation. Godzilla attacks. She dies, saving our main character. And now he's out for blood. The people form a committee. That's right. The people form a committee to stop Godzilla because the government won't do shit because they're afraid of World War III starting. Someone call the UN! Stop this lizard! So Godzilla, and it's confirmed now, he's radioactive. After 30,000 dead, no one still believes there's a monster. Dude, no one. I'd say there'd be more people, but the people who believed in him were the people that saw him before they died. So this thing fires a nuke, and it's out of its mouth, and it's terrifying. And they call it the heat ray. Did I mention it's 1947? What the f*** does Japan have to lose? Apparently, they still have it. Who knew? Their country, physically, like, parts of it are gone now. So then they decide, all right, we're gonna like shoot Godzilla at the bottom of the trench, and we're gonna like shoot him back up if he still survives that. If breaking his bones doesn't work the first time, then he'll implode after the rapture of moving waters. The main character goes, I need an expert to fix this jet plane that was a test thing so we can lower Godzilla to the middle of the waters to do this plan. So he calls Mr. Mechanic from earlier, hates him, because he wrote a letter to him saying, hey, those deaths were your fault. F*** you, by the way. So, yeah, that happens, and he gets back because he's pissed, and he goes, please, I need to protect my daughter's future. And then he agrees to do it. In exchange, that he'll kill himself to do it. I know. Plot to continue this movie was this Mr. Mechanic man from World War II wants this failed kamikaze to kamikaze into Godzilla, then he'll agree to help him. Yeah, isn't that f***ed up? It's 1947. Who gives a So the plan goes, and people are dying. There are thousands of dead. And then they lower him out into the water where they do the plan, and they're like, okay, plan B, he survived all the way on the bottom. And they get, so only former military are out there because they believe this is their war, because they are proud of themselves, because the government would give them like not so armored tanks, they would actually like they would just be like slaughters. The Japanese government at the time during World War II didn't give two about their people. Kamikaze pilots are proof. They also didn't like give them proper protection, proper medikits. What am I saying? The Japanese government was to their people, forcing them to keep fighting even though they knew the inevitable. Yeah, the Japanese government at the time were a little up. So only military soldiers are out there. But when it realizes, oh, we need more tug power to lift Godzilla out of the water because the inflatable devices didn't work, all these people come. The kid, who was not part of the war, comes with the rest, all the boats of Tokyo, and they start tugging. They pull Godzilla all the way to the surface. He is not looking good, by the way. He is not looking sexy anymore. And they go, oh, geez, it wasn't enough. And right before Godzilla's heat ray kills everyone, and they're all saluting, and half the other people who aren't able to see all the way are like, what's happening? Oh, the main character, Kamikaze's into Godzilla's mouth, but he ejected. So Mr. Mechanic later learned he too just is a piece of shit. So he was like, hey, don't actually kill yourself. For the love of God, we didn't deserve that. This is how you eject. Please don't kill yourself. Let go. Please live. And so, yeah, he ejected out. Godzilla destroys himself, and everyone goes back home. And then it's, oh yeah, by the way, he gave his daughter to the ant, in case if you were curious if he was going to leave a kid all alone and not return after he kills himself. So the kid was at the ants, and then the ant meets him with the kid like, hey, I got a telegram, and he goes back to Tokyo. His future wife, is alive! And there's some of her veins are black, moving up her neck. What's that about? And then there's supposed to be, I cried at this scene, it was great. I cried. And Godzilla was reforming, yeah. So, what's with the lady recovering? She shouldn't have recovered from that. She should not look the way she does. So what did I have to rate this Godzilla movie? It's a 10 out of 10. Seriously, it's one of the best movies made this year. Like, I was scared.